All right, let's get started. So we're working more with EVPN, VXLAN, and Jinja templates. And I was on a run today, and I thought of something about the way that I'm generating my templates, my configurations, which may affect the way that I do the way that I do these. And that is, if I if I generate two different sections of a config that, for example, let's do deploy. Let's do deploy this one. So this is HER, EBGP, EBGP all active. This one right here. The way that I do my templates is that I do the underlay and I do the overlay separately. Now, if I do them separately, this section right here, for example, is going to be split into two. And I don't know if it'll work that way. So what I want to do is I want to try something. I'm going to try taking this config and doing it the way that it would show up in my template if I did it the way that I think I'm going to do it. There might be a way around this if I... Oh yeah, my thing is working. Oh, I know why. Hold on. There we go. There's the video. Okay, so so this is what it would look like, because I would have the EVPN part and the just regular IPv4 part. So it would show up like, it would look like this. So under router, and then I would have the EVPN stuff here. I wouldn't have any IPv4 stuff, and then I would have all this stuff. What I don't know is if EOS is smart enough. I mean, not really saying smart enough. It shouldn't have to do this. If it doesn't do it, I'm not going to blame it for not being able to do this. But can it take the same config subtype and do it twice? I don't know. So that's what we're going to find out. So to find out, we're going to do deploy HER, EBGP, EBGP all active. Oh, I did it to the wrong one. Crap. I meant to do it to this one. So take this, copy it, paste it, and then the first one will be the underlay and removing the overlay part. That's the EVPN part. So that would be that, and none of this. And the other part would be the underlay part, or the overlay part, but not the underlay. So this would need that part and the rest. Okay. So that's EBGP all active. So let's try that. Seem to take it. Let's see what we get. Show run. It seemed to be okay. Huh, that's pretty cool. I'm going to deploy original. to make sure that there's nothing there, nothing up my sleeve, and then deploy the other one. All right, that actually makes things a lot easier for me. So I could get around this. If it was a limitation, I could get around it. So it lets me do the same section twice as long as they don't conflict. I was hoping it would do that because it just makes things a lot easier. Because I've already done the underlay. I've done the underlay. And now I need to do the overlay. So... Okay, so all my underlay templates, I think, are done. At least for head-end replication. I didn't do multicast, and I didn't do MLAG yet. So that's a whole other thing. Because then I have to... Should I... Yeah, so I can do MLAG left, MLAG right. All right, so templates, I'll do MLAG. So this will be my MLAG config. I was having a debate with someone earlier on the Packet Butcher Slack about MLAG versus EVPN all active, and I don't think that MLAG is bad. I don't think anything proprietary is bad necessarily. I don't think we should always do open standards over proprietary. Usually we will, but I don't think a proprietary standard is an automatic disqualification. It's. I always take everything on a case by case basis. Yeah, so I always take everything on a case-by-case basis. There are some cases where, yeah, it's not a good idea to do something in a proprietary format. Like, sometimes it just doesn't make any sense. Like ISL versus VLAN tagging. Some of the older Catalyst switches, you can still do ISL between switches. There's no reason to. Or doing CDP instead of LDP. There's no reason to do CDP versus LDP, although it really doesn't matter in a lot of cases. But just do LDP. That's the open standard. Never do LACP over PAGP. There's no reason not to do it. I don't like EIGRP as a routing protocol, but not because it's Cisco proprietary. You can do, like, just because it's a proprietary, you can only do it on Cisco. It doesn't mean that your network can't have EIGRP and other vendors. It's a little bit more complicated depending on where you put them in. You have to redistribute routes. So I can redistribute EIGRP into BGP or OSPF or whatever. So that's not really a problem. I just don't like EIGRP because I don't think it brings anything that isn't already covered by the other routing protocols. Because, you know, in the world of routing protocols, we've got RIP, OSPF, BGP, ISIS, and EIGRP. And I think most of the cases are covered by 3 of them. And I only want to fit as many into my brain as the few as I have to. And if I need a really simple routing protocol, OSPF. If I need a non-BGP, an IGP routing protocol that needs to be more complicated and more flexible, I'll do ISIS. It's slightly more complicated to set up. It's slightly more complicated than OSPF to configure, but it's infinitely more scalable than OSPF is. So OSPF for the simple cases that you need a simple IGP, ISIS for the really scalable IGPs, or BGP. That's going to be an external gateway protocol, or it can be an interior gateway protocol depending on what you do with it. So those 3, OSPF, ISIS, and OSPF, cover everything that you need to do. EIGRP is like, it's a little bit better than OSPF in some ways, but you've still got better scalability with ISIS, I think. And then for flexibility, you can't beat BGP. So there's no situation where you're like, oh man, we should have done EIGRP. That's why I don't like it. Anyway, I digress. So I'm going to take this from there and put it in here. And then my MLAG here. At the top of the script, or top of the template, I parse out the name of the device. So if it's a leaf, we're looking for the regex. So this assumes leafs are just going to be a leaf and then a leaf number, like leaf 1, leaf 20, leaf 30, leaf 80, etc. So, and we need to discover whether or not it's even or odd. So to find out if it's even, I divide it by 2 and do the modulus. And is it 0? That means it's even. If it's not 0, it's odd. I think that's right. So I should probably, do that. But too many ifs. Yeah, 1 if, 2 if. No, there it is. Okay. If. There we go. Need the indentation. Otherwise it just gets too crazy. Should I do that? Pretending I'm doing code. There's not really code blocks in a Jinja, but it helps to treat them like that. Otherwise they get really, really complicated. Okay, so I think that's the MLAG config I need. These templates aren't really all active. I think I can just rename them. Because what I could do is I could do an if statement and generate the peering with the other leaf. So I need a way for the algorithm to determine if I'm using MLAG, and if I am using MLAG, to determine which is the peer, which is the neighbor. There's a couple ways I can approach this. How do I determine which is the neighbors? I could do MLAG domains, unique MLAG domains. That would certainly work. I could do the odd one is the bottom one, the even one's the top one. And I could do it that way. Do I even need to? Yeah, I think I can do this. Okay. Yeah, so if I'm MLAG, I also need to do the connections between the two. Yeah, oh yeah, I need this part here. Because I need to create... Uh-huh. So the first part will set some variables. Side. So is it even or odd side? Or is it left or right side? And that'll determine some IP addresses and stuff. Next, we need to set the... we need to add some VLANs into the VLAN database. So we set the no VLAN and then put this into the VLAN database. Because we need the MLAG peer VLAN ID. This will be for something else. Yeah, and then this is the port channel. Pull that from the variables. And the MLAG peer links. Yeah, so that would be the MLAG peer links. Just two interfaces there. So this would set up the MLAG there. Okay. Yeah, so that would configure MLAG. I do need to let's see. All right, that's good. Okay. Basic. I can't remember if I need to peer for every VRF. If I do MLAG. So if I don't do MLAG, it's actually a much easier config. But since I'm doing a cookbook, I need to have all possible well, not all possible examples, but probable examples. And I think VMware still, or not VMware, Arista still recommends MLAG as their solution. Instead of EVPN all active. I don't think they'll fight you much if you... I don't think they'll fight you much if you want to do EVPN all active, but they generally recommend MLAG more. For a couple of reasons, I think. One, it's a little bit better understood. It's easier to troubleshoot because... And it's quicker to fail over. Because if you're doing EVPN all active, you have 2 extra route types that you have to account for. Whereas MLAG, there's just one route type that you use to figure out where an endpoint is. And if you have a failure of a leaf, all the other leafs in the fabric have to withdraw that route for that ESI. Whereas with MLAG, if you lose a leaf, the destination VTEP is the same because 2 VTEPs share an IP address. So it's not really a big deal there. But I want to cover both bases because there's advantages to both. Yeah, this is not. Let's configure mlag here. Using AVD to kind of tell me. Because that's the best practices. I mean, I should be using AVD. AVD doesn't cover all these potential options. And it's got some extra stuff in there I don't want to put in the cookbook. But it can give me an indication of what Arista's best practices are with regard to, I need to peer between the two MLAG pairs for layer 2, and I need to peer for layer 3. And I think I need to peer for each VRF, each L3 VNI. But I forget. There's examples, single DC fabric. I just need to know the syntax here, which I forget. Nodes. That's no groups. Yeah, this one right here. All right, so I will. Using a VI for this one. I don't need to set an ASN because it will automatically set them because I have the AS right here. So 100 through 199. I'll do 101 through 199. So I don't have to do that. Oh yeah, call this MLAG 1, leaf 1, 20, 20, is it 11? That doesn't really matter. I guess this really doesn't matter at all. So I'm not going to upload this anywhere. It's actually 3. Get rid of these. Leaf 3. Oh yeah. If I define it and I don't have an ID for it, it doesn't know what to do. So I'll just get rid of it and leave here. Yeah, I do have to peer. Okay. That just makes things more complicated. I just have to peer the underlay and then I have to peer the VRF. Underlay's not too bad. But the so basically I have to do this part right here. Depending on the routing protocol. Jeez. So in my variable files, I need to put in the routing protocol for the underlay so it knows what to build. So for example, I would do if underlay routing protocol equals OSPF, then I do some OSPF stuff in here. If underlay routing protocol equals ISIS, do some ISS stuff in here. If gotta fix underlay routing protocol there. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, "Holy crap, this looks really complicated," it's this would not be nearly as complicated in most scenarios. The only reason this is so complicated is I'm trying to achieve a very complicated thing, and this is actually the easiest way to do it. The thing that I'm trying to achieve is I'm trying to build a template that can build a variety of different underlay, overlay, multi-homing combinations. I don't know why I even need to do it this way, but I want to build it so that it can build any kind of combo I need so I can verify my EVPN VXLAN cookbook. So basically, for the underlays, these are my four options. I could do OSPF, ISIS, IBGP, or EBGP for the underlay. So in all of my variable files, under global options, I need to create a thing called underlay routing protocol. So that'll be EBGP. And this will also be EBGP. Will also be EBGP. Might be able to consolidate these two. This is IBGP. Also IBGP. This is OSPF. Oh, sorry, it's ISIS. So I don't need an OSPF area. I can get rid of that. Or maybe I'll leave it there. I'm going to leave it there in case I consolidate. So I would have both an OSPF area ID, and then also an ISIS prefix, even though I'm not using one or the other, if I'm only going to use one, but the information's there, and if it doesn't use it, it doesn't use it. It doesn't hurt anything to have a variable declared and you don't use, other than to keep things tidy. So underlay router protocol, ISIS, and this one is OSPF. All right, if it's OSPF, then under my interface VLAN, because I need to create an interface VLAN, this right here. I can leave these numbered. Why can I leave these numbered? Because they're identical in every leaf pair. So it doesn't really make any sense to do them unnumbered. I think. Drinking orange tea right now. So this would be POSPF area, global options, OSPF area, OSPF underscore area. Is it capital or an uncapital? Uncapital, okay. It's not really point to point at this point. Get it? So that would be pretty easy there. Be right back. I'm going to grab some more tea. Okay, back. Actually made myself some instant coffee. That's that mushroom coffee because I'm feeling a little tired, but not quite ready for bed. It's got a little bit of caffeine in it and some other stuff. Might make some hot chocolate a little bit later too. Okay, so that's OSPF. If it's ISIS, then it's pretty much the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so pretty much the same thing. So that's one reason why I like ISAS over EIGRP is that it's infinitely scalable, and it's just a little more complicated than OSPF. So it's not an area, and we don't need to do point-to-point. It is IP ISIS. What was it? Enable. ISIS enable. Did I hard code it? I don't think I meant to hard code it. Underlay. Nah, I'll just leave it there. Underlay. That's pretty much all you need there. For IBGP, it's always IBGP. But where do we get the... No, it would be different. Yeah. So because we need... Yeah, so... Does it need to be unique? I don't know if it does. I gave myself a haircut about 2 weeks ago, and I gave myself a belter haircut. So it's kind of like a mohawk. Because it's the summer. At least here in North America, of course. Okay, so IBGP. And then I also have to do router BGP, whatever the IBGP AS is. And then it's neighbor. Call it mlag underlay. Your group. Remote IAS. Is this thing router? XHop self. I don't know if I needed that one actually. Don't need a route map. I don't think I need some community. And group. Let me make sure I spell that right. And then I need to do if side even or odds. So just copy that. So side equals odd or even at the top of the script, it looks at the leaf number and determines whether it's an odd or even side. Odds get configured one way for MLAG, evens get configured a different way for MLAG. Yeah. So my neighbor would be 10, 1, 253, 2. Peer group MLAG underlay. Neighbor 10, 1, 253, 2. They're hard coded. The IP addresses are. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but they are hard coded. Thinking about it now, it's actually a pretty bad idea. I might have to go back and fix that at some point. I'm just going to continue on now. Yeah, so that's hard coded. And then if it's even, it would be pretty much this. Oh, I need address family. So copy this, and then this here. And that would be 1. And then the only other one is the EBGP. So that would be... Oh, I got to wrap this all in a leaf too. Because I need to... Yeah, because all of this is only if it's a leaf. Because spines won't do any of this because we don't do MLAG in spines. So many nested if statements, it gets really hard to follow. So this would pretty much be similar. Oh yeah, there's if leaf and underlay. It's just where do we get the where do we get the IP address or get the AS numbers? So this one would be for EBGP. Each leaf pair would have their own AS numbers that would be defined, and I could just use whatever is for leaf 1 or whatever device this is. So yeah, BGP ASN. So that should be fine. That actually is pretty easy because I don't have to say left or right. So inventory host name. So no devices. Inventory host name. BGP ASN. There we go. That should do it. I'll just replace that there. Now, do I have it? There's a lot of if statements here. So I have one big if leaf and inventory host name. So I'm just going to get rid of those and then get rid of that because we don't need it, and we don't need it for here. Because if leaf isn't in the host name, then it's just not going to do any of this code. Trick is, are the ifs and end ifs done correctly? I don't know. So I'm going to create a new template. No, I'm going to do this one. EBGP. I'll do I'm like true. The top, I'll do if global options mlag equal true. Then we're going to do include mlag.j2. I think that's what we do. Include, yeah. No, just, yeah, one line. Okay. did I put that? Not there. Let's clean all this up. Yeah, okay. So we're going to build, underlay eBGP, and include MLAG. So I'm going to rename this because it'll work for both MLAG and non-MLAG. eBGP, because eBGP numbered. Was it this one? It's got so many things in here. eBGP, EGP, HER. Var files. I need the MLAG one. Okay, what was the underlay eBGPN? Yeah. So take this template, build it. Let's see if we get any errors. Okay. No MLAG. Okay, so we're looking at eBGP MLAG. This one right here. Oh. Make that. Okay. MLAG is undefined. My vars files. It doesn't tell me if it didn't find a vars files. It just says so fabric hr eBGP underscore mlag.yaml, and that has mlag in it. Oh, is it fabric? Maybe I didn't put fabric in front of it. No, I did. Fabric. So vars. Copy. Path. Nope, I did it. Underlay EBGPN. If global options mlag equals true. So that would be under here. Global options mlag equals true. Mlag is not defined. Try undercasing. It shouldn't matter. But that worked. I don't know why that mattered. So I got the if statements right. That's good. Where did I put them? These right here. That didn't seem to do much. I put them into underlay EBGP mlag. Underlay EBGP mlag. So these were not. There's a bunch of stuff that skipped. Underlay EBGPN.J2. Global options mlag equals true. Oh, you know what? I think mlag is undefined. Is all right, so it looks like a proper Boolean there. mlag is not defined. Call it mlag. Mlag is not defined, but I did define it. That's true. YAML boolean. So lowercase. That's lowercase. Global options, mlag. Option, make sure I didn't spell anything wrong. Global options, mlag, all caps. Printing it basically. See what it thinks it is. True. Okay. So it's defined. Ooh, that one was messy. So booleans are either true or false, and so is something conditionals with boolean with Jinja. So maybe just one equal sign? Oh, it doesn't like... Okay, so this works now. But mlag_j2 has one too many ifs or one too few ifs. End of statement block got equals. Or no, maybe that's not the problem. include mlag.j2. Is it as simple as this? Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. Didn't put it in quotes. It's the little things that get you. So, that is, and then I've just got one too many if statements. Ah, crap. So many ifs. All right, so if leaf and host name set that, then we do that. Then we do that. We do for and for if, end if end if end if, end if, end if. Maybe I need another one here. Nope. Let's do one at a time. Template error with templating string, expected token, and got equals. Oh, cool. All right. It looks like it's almost done. Underlay RP. It's right there. Global options. Maybe I didn't do the... Oh, yeah. So it's got to be global options. Okay, this is easy to fix. IBGP AS. Shouldn't do that because our underlay RP for this is EBGP, so it shouldn't. Oh, it'd be the spine ASN. If it's EBGP, what? Should need IBGP-AS. We shouldn't, because we're not IBGP. Because we're loading up this one, EBGP, EBGP MLAG. Our underlay routing protocol is EBGP. In inventory. All right, that worked. So where did he get that from? Oh, maybe from... Oh, we'll see. Oh, I didn't. I see. I think if, and if, and if. I think I need to move this end if down. Yeah, that worked. Okay. All right, I think that'll be enough for tonight. Yeah, there's a lot of progress. Okay.